Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd, and the time is 6:31 p.m., and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First on our agenda is the consent agenda and our meeting minutes from November 19th. Any questions or comments on the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from November 19th, this meeting.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I just realized Liz is not here. Okay. Next is warrants 32 and 34, which I have in the folder here that I'll send around for signatures. Any questions or comments on those? Hearing none, I'll take the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve warrants 32 and 34.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Visitor comments. Any citizen wishing to speak before the committee must sign in with the administrative Any citizen wishing to speak before the committee must sign in with the administrative assistant prior to the opening of the regular session of the school committee. The visitor will identify themselves by name and address and shall speak for no longer than 3 minutes. For anyone unable to sign in ahead of time, we ask that you clearly state your name and address so that this information can be included in the record for the meeting. Cole is not here. Moving right along. New business. Superintendent Search Committee. So, here we are again. Search Committee. So, we need to get a committee before we can we post without the committee? Anybody?
We did it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Last time, yeah. So,
Postings dependent on the committee.
so thoughts? Anyone? Should we just use the same ad from last time and work on getting a committee? I'm just worried about trying to get a committee that maybe we can't have impaneled by dates that we put in the ad.
Well, how far out can we put the ad?
I think it's in our control, so,
Right.
you know. So, I wonder if we can pull it up.
Plus the holidays are coming up, so I
Right.
imagine people would want to wait until January to volunteer their time.
Right. I'm just wondering if maybe it makes sense to get the work on getting the committee and then, or should we post it and then just have the dates out there so we can start collecting information and work on impaneling a committee?
I don't see the harm. It would just grab a bigger applicant pool.
Thoughts?
Well, I know that in March, I think it was the 29th or 26th, you guys were going to do a full search.
Mhm.
Is that still the plan?
Yep, that's what we're talking about.
Okay. Are you going to use someone like MASC?
We're gonna do it ourselves like we've done the last several times.
Okay, because the last time.
We just,
well,
we use them as like, as
You're better.
our vetter
Yes.
and we've gone to them with questions and concerns and it helps keep the cost down. I still think it's about $5,000 or something.
Okay, but you
But,
are going to have them do
Yeah,
something.
and our newest committee member who's not here
Yeah.
tonight, she is on MASC. So she's hoping that she'll be able to help us as well.
Okay, so then if she'd be acting in that role, then she would have to abstain from.
No, she can just make sure that we're doing it, like she's familiar with that, so she can
Okay.
help make sure that we're doing all of the right things. She's familiar with the process more so than any of us. So she can guide our decisions and make sure that we're following the processes most accurately. So maybe we won't have to use MASC as much.
I think the thought is Tracy Novick has been the district's contact through MASC.
Yes.
Right. So that would probably continue because Liz would be a member on the committee.
Okay.
But that because she has depth of knowledge when it comes to these conversations at the table, she would be able to help
Okay.
with guiding that
Okay.
process.
So last time,
We posted the applications, or the posting was March 28th. Applications were due on April 19th. So we have
So-
3 weeks.
is it bad to have it open for longer if we post it now and collect for longer while we try to impanel a committee, or should we make sure that the ad is, we're happy with how it looks and then post after the new year? I just know that there's a bunch of other searches going on, so I'm a little concerned.
The one thing that you guys had mentioned was talking about doing, when you do the full search, you want to get even international. So 3 weeks, that doesn't offer enough time for that.
If we post through Mask, that's the international connect, or the national
Right.
connection, right? So then,
The 3 weeks doesn't seem like a very long time. When we were doing the 3 weeks, that was because we had that short window of about a month or two that you guys were requiring us to come back. I think April 30th was the day you needed our committee to come back with the 3 names.
I'm looking to see back.
No, April 30th was our first committee meeting.
Ours.
Ours as a search committee.
Okay.
That was the first meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm just looking to see, because we've done it a few times, just to see if we have any, what we did the time before, because we had one for Superintendent Sullivan, and then when we got Mary Jane, and then, so just looking to see.
so last time, it looks like in 2021, we did the application January 18th, and it was due March 1st.
Yeah, so it was a much longer period. So we could shoot for that January 18th posting date and almost keep the same amount of time, so we have a longer selection period.
And that'd give 6 weeks to impanel the committee.
Wouldn't you start your search committee now?
That's what we're.
Yeah, okay. And then have it close on the 18th?
The
January?
applications
Okay,
would be. I don't think the committee needs to be impaneled when the ad gets posted.
gotcha.
I don't think that's what I was asking initially. I didn't hear. You were saying you didn't think it would be a problem, but I haven't heard from anybody else.
No, and I guess my point of reference was they ran concurrently last time, meaning the call to community and
Yeah.
staff of any interest in being on a search committee and the application itself.
Yeah, because we don't really need any search committee members to be part of anything until after the application closes.
Right, and so ideally, I think in my mind, if you ran the posting, depending on when you wanted it to close, and I recall being on the search committee I guess the first time here, that meetings only started the end of January, beginning of February, after the committee was chosen by whatever, mid-January. It doesn't mean that we have to stick to those timeframes. I
Right.
think it was just, it gave us finalists announcing on the last week of March, site visits the last March 29th, and the week of March 29th were site visits. And then the finalist interviews were the first week of April. So then that selection happened this second week, essentially.
Okay, so why don't we circle back on who we need on our search committee so we can make sure that we get an accurate list so we can post in the correct areas. So the last couple of times we've had a school administrator, a district administrator, school committee members, a GEA member, parents from both schools. And then we had a teacher from each school and then a community member. So there was one.
We had 2 teachers from each school.
Yep. I'm just reading the headlines.
Okay.
So I have parents from both schools. So we had two from East Meadow and two from the high school, just one GEA member. Although it looks like the teachers listed on this first one were also on GEA at the time. So
That was just, yeah, but I believe that we still had 2 teachers plus myself. I was the GEA member. It just so happens that we're all teachers. Can't help it.
right. No, I didn't mean anything by it. I'm just looking at the list. So that's the one from 20 for Stephen. And then the one, there's like multiple lists.
So we had, last one, we had 1 school administrator, 2 district-wide employees, school committee member, GEA, 2 East Meadow parents, 2 junior senior high school parents, 2 staff at each building, and 2 community-wide members.
So we've been pretty consistent with how we've been doing that. So should we keep with the same?
I think we should.
Okay.
The one thing that we'd like to ask is that in the past, last year was the exception, we had a representative from an admin from each school. And we didn't have one from East Meadow last year.
Anyone have any problems with that? Okay. All right. So school, so we just need to ask for volunteers from all of those areas. So for the parents and community members, well, hopefully people are watching. They can reach out to me or to Ginny, or to anybody really, as long as the information gets flowed up. They can reach out to you as well, or any member. We can collect names, and then if we can put that in both newsletters that we're looking for people for that, and then we'll collect names, and then we'll start working on where we're at in January.
Okay.
Good, bad, and different. Good, bad, ugly. I don't know.
I think
It looks like they used a Google form in the past. Like once the search committee members were informed that they were selected and if they wanted to participate, they sent that out in terms of like scheduling and availability to try to find those like common times and common days so that that could be thought about ahead of time and planned
Yep.
out.
Be nice if we can, don't have to recreate the wheel, if we can modify what was used last time. Can you see any of those things, or do we need to try to get you access to any of that stuff?
I'm gonna send
Okay.
this to you because I have it right here.
Do you want me to keep it on the school committee agendas for the,
Yeah, I think we'll have it just live on the agenda, just under continuing business, just
I'm thinking.
so we can touch base on it
Yep.
as we go. If you don't mind helping to get the word out, so we can get
Absolutely.
people,
Absolutely.
and they should funnel their names through us also, so we can collect
Absolutely.
them. And then, we'll touch on it again at our next meeting. The only other thing is, do we want to look at the flyer for right now, or do we want to wait and see where we're at?
I feel like every time we've looked at the flyer, the only things that we've changed is some of the demographic information, and
Yeah,
the last time was superintendent to interim.
you
right.
just have to change the word.
Mm-hmm.
The values or
Yeah. And so at some point we'll have to discuss where we're at for, are we gonna keep this, what did we do for salary last time? Did we post it, or was it,
one I'm looking at for 23-24 was just commensurate with experience.
okay. I think we should do that as well. The one I'm looking at has a range, but I don't know if it was the final. It was just a version of it. Okay, I'm sure there's stuff that I'm missing, but what else do we need to talk about as far as that goes? Are you good with where we're at?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely, thank you.
So we'll collect the names, and it's just gonna be kind of living on the agenda, so I don't know if one of you wants to kind of keep tabs on it. And we'll try to keep it, it's gonna be in continuing business, so whatever we have for new business is gonna get bumped down, so there's possible it'll be a little bit before we get to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I absolutely do.
My brain is like mush today. I don't really know why. But yeah, well, that way we can keep it there. It's right in front of us. We'll move through, try to collect some names. So we need people to spread the word. And we should make some updates. Try to take a stab at what we want for updates. If people want to take a look at it. So what we did, the one that I have is for the 2021 timeline. Like Jill said, we posted January 18th. The application was due March 1st. March 15th, the semifinalists were selected. March 22nd, that week were semifinalist interviews. March 29th, finalists were announced. Week of the 29th were site visits. And then April 5th through 9th were finalist interviews. Week of April 12th was the selection of superintendent with a July 1 start date. So that was a fairly aggressive schedule last time. I don't know if we feel like that is still,
We push it any later, you're gonna,
Right.
you're gonna lose.
Right.
Okay. So really, we just need to line up what the dates would look like for 2025.
If you want to share that, we can probably,
Okay.
she can get the dates in there. To around those times anyhow.
just in case.
Did you send it then, Jill? Okay.
Done.
Great. Done. It'll take me 18 minutes to figure out how to do that. All right. Anything else on superintendent search that you can think of?
No.
Anybody? I'm looking at like Jenny like she's gonna give me all the answers
We have
tonight.
to put somebody.
She has them.
Yeah.
Somebody, you have to designate somebody as the.
Not until we have a committee.
Okay, that was.
Then there'll be a chairperson and there was a note taker or
Okay.
secretary or something. They fleshed that out.
Okay.
Is how I remembered it from last time. Yes.
The search we did for the interim, you identified me to lead the committee,
Right.
and then I organized.
But the time before that, when
Yeah.
it was a not an interim search. It
Mhm.
was a full search. We had done things differently. We can talk about it when it gets closer to, if that's how we want to. All right. Are we good? Does everyone feel good? Thank you. That was easy, see?
It was so easy peasy.
If you guys have any other questions or whatever, just let me know and we'll work on it. But mostly we need to get some names for people. All right. Moving on. Enrollment dashboard.
There has been no ads or drops for November. We've stayed the same.
It's exciting.
Yeah, nothing for, so we're still at 678, I think that's what it is. Yep, 678.
Okay. And then you're up for superintendent's report.
Not too much happening. We're gonna start seeing stuff ramping up in December, but a couple things. On November 20th, Nicole, the special ed director, and myself went to a legal issues seminar in Northampton, and topics included special education, student discipline, 504s, healthcare plans, federal court cases, state and federal agency, and social media policy. So they have that every year, and it was presented by Betsy, what's her last name, Betsy?
Becky Bouchard.
Becky Bouchard. So she tends to give all those legal seminars, and we go to every year to just get updates and such. And on Friday, November 22nd, central office staff, Todd, myself, and Sue went to a virtual workshop focused on creating a successful policy around AI. As a result of the work, we have decided to convene a working group around the use of technology and AI in the classrooms. And further discussion included providing professional development opportunities for staff with that. So at our next DLT meeting, we'll be talking about how to look at AI as procedures for us moving forward. So on November 25 and 26, the high school had parent-teacher conferences, and it was pretty well attended. Thanks to our 21st Century Grant, we've started our after-school program at East Meadow for elementary students. We currently run 3 days a week, and they're hoping to open it for 5 days a week. We're just looking to get some new staff on board, and I know there's some interest, so we're hoping to get that up and running after the new year. East Meadow will be having a little shopper event for students, so students will have the opportunity to purchase gifts from December 16th to December 19th for their families. So please watch your newsletter from East Meadow on event. I want to get that early so the parents know. And then Boomer, the Springfield Thunderbird mascot, will be at East Meadow School on Friday, December 6th, to greet our students upon arrival. Any school that went to that Thunderbirds hockey game a few weeks back, had the opportunity to have Boomer come to the school. So we will be here on Friday.
That's
And we'll
awesome.
get some good photos for everybody.
And then I think I saw something about ice cream or something with Santa.
December 6th, there's also, December 6th, there's ice cream with Santa as well. And they're looking for ice cream volunteers to
Scoop.
scoop
Excellent.
and donate ice cream.
All right. Any questions? Hearing none. Todd, you're up.
Yeah, not too much since our last meeting. I'm preparing a few capital articles. We talked about that in the subcommittee. So getting ready, those need to be to the town by Monday. So I'm finalizing those. The other big push right now is preparing the FY26 budget. All the department heads and principals have their initial drafts. I'm meeting with them this week to see where they are in process, making sure that we're hitting all of our main points. Those are due to me December 13th, so I can get it compiled and sent to the town administrator before the new year. So that's the big piece. And in conjunction with that, we've talked about doing a budget forum next school committee meeting. So giving an opportunity for some questions or feedback early in the budget process. We have been working, a few of us have been working to try to find a way to have a remote access to the meeting. So what we are looking to do is we'll have a Google Meet link embedded in our agenda. We'll post it on the website, the school newsletters, those places, so people can access it. The committee's decision, I guess I need, is do we want to run that from 6 to 6:30 and then begin the regular school committee time at 6:30? Or do people's schedules need us to do the forum 6:30 to 7 and then begin the regular meeting at 7?
That's the 17th.
Yes.
I can try to do the 6. It's a tight squeeze for me, but I can work on it. So
Same.
that'll be your last meeting. Sounds good. All right. Do we want to do 6 to 6:30? All right. So it's 12:17, 6 to 6:30, public forum. Is that, I should have asked you before I just agreed to that.
No, that's okay. We had conversations. Todd and Ginny and David have been working on getting the Google Meet going, and I
Okay.
think they fixed it. I think they got it working today. So
Excellent.
we're excited.
Okay.
We just have to figure out how to do it with GCAM.
So we're going to work with GCAM as well to facilitate this so that they can capture, and when they post the video of it, it would also include any questions that come in remotely.
Okay.
So hopefully that will give us more participation, give the community that early discussion on it.
So one thing I am concerned about, there are basketball started, so I know that that's always a problem, but there is a home game next door at that time for the girls, and I think the boys have an away game, so some people that are usually pretty active participants in some of these discussions won't necessarily be available. But we can give it a shot. At least it's going to be recorded, and we'll go
And if people have questions, they can direct them to me.
right.
And
And we could ask if anyone has any budget questions, they could submit them and we could
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
read them.
Yeah.
So put it in the newsletter if anyone have for both the schools, they can do that. And I know Allie sometimes does Instagram stuff. If she could put that,
And you can put it on our Facebook too.
yeah, just so we can try to get some stuff out there. It might be helpful.
But I also want to make sure that we let people know that that's what we're having before the meeting. You know, this is your opportunity to participate in the budget conversations for the district. So, you know, putting it out a couple weeks in advance, just let them know what's coming and watch out for
Right.
that. So I think it's important. We just don't want to put it out there and, you know, hope everybody looks at the agenda.
Right.
So I think it's important we advocate for sure.
Okay. All right. Anything else for that?
No.
Anything on the kitchen? We're waiting for a bid or something?
We're rebidding in
Oh,
in February.
Right.
February, March is
I'll
we're
start
gonna
next.
rebid on it.
all right. Okay. Anything for Todd? CES?
We meet December 11th.
Okay. All right, so for our next meeting, 6 to 6:30, we'll have the public forum budget. It's supposed to be a working subcommittee meeting, because it's the second meeting of the month. Do you guys want to do that, or do you think it'll be too much with having the public forum beforehand? All right, then we'll we'll do work groups. So, budget probably, anything, budget and finance.
I think of policies up this time.
Yeah, policy. We usually do policy slash something else, right?
Yeah, I think the evaluation part would be fine to sit right now. We'll just work on like getting the template
Okay,
all filled in and,
all right.
yeah. Then we were at policy D,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not like section D.
Yeah.
And all the policies. See, you learn. And all the policies within it. So if we can get a hard copy of that somehow, or at least, yeah,
We'll get-
even
yep.
emailed, because I can figure out how to get it printed from there. It's just nice to have like the,
We can print them out
Okay.
and then we can drop them off or whatever. That's just you and George.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can get them to you.
Okay, and then when we come back from that, we should talk about who's gonna, if we're gonna just have Livs replace you on your committees, or if we need to reorganize. So we'll just put reorganize with Jill's departure and Liz's onboarding. And I'll just have to touch base with her, because I thought she got the dates from us, but maybe not. I didn't see anything from her about not attending tonight. I don't know if anybody heard from her, so we'll have to touch base on that. Anything else that we want on the agenda for next time? Of course, we just said Super Search will be on there. Anything else? All right. Not hearing anything, I will move on. We're going to vote to enter into executive session under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, Part A3, to discuss strategy with regard to collective bargaining, as doing so in an open session may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the committee. The committee will not return to open session. Jenny, can you do a roll call vote, please? Aye.
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 okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks. Have a good night.